Has Nikon finally just thrown in the towel?
3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome back to the vlog, guys. So today I want to kind of talk about Nikon. Now, excuse my appearance, I'm a little bit under the weather, and I think Nikon is also. As of last week, there was a report in that they were discontinuing a line, and I'm going to get into that, but it just seems like, I would say about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, I did a piece and I spoke about how Nikon was laying off about 1,000 people and giving like early retirement packages to another 500. I don't know. It was probably like 1,500 to 2,000 people that are basically nixed. So I was talking about how Nikon is downsizing, and I was speaking about why they're downsizing and what has been going on in the industry. I've been doing this for 20 years or so. And it just seems that companies like Nikon and Canon are just simply not getting it. And I've talked about this. Everyone knows I'm a Canon shooter, but I'm really unbiased. I don't care what the camera is that I'm using. There's always a camera that's specific to a job. So if I'm shooting fashion, usually I'm using Hasselblads. If I'm doing whatever it is, there's a camera specific to what I do. So I don't really care what it is. I'm not a fanboy either direction. Now, Nikon, as of about, I think it was about 4 or 5 days ago, they said they're going to get rid of their DL line. Now, what does this mean and what is that line? Well, to kind of get back to when the DL line kind of started, when they spoke about it, it was early February 2016, and they were talking about putting out these 3 cameras, and they were the DL cameras. And what they were, one of them was a DL 18 to 50, I believe, and there was 2 other ones, more zoom oriented telephoto. But what these cameras were is they were supposed to be a, let's say, an answer to Sony's RX100 line. Now, rightfully so, right? Sony and Fujifilm, they've been eating the lunch of Canon and Nikon as of late, basically in their mirrorless side and in their 4K and everything else, right? They're just being more innovative, right? And less of this iteration that these larger corporations have been doing. Now, Nikon came out with this DL, or they said they were going to come out with this DL line. And they spoke about it as being the next best thing to, the second coming, let's call it. And it was going to compete with the RX100. It was going to do some crazy like 20 frames per second with autofocus and up to 60 frames if you lock your focus. And if you downsize, you're going to be able to do like 100, I think it was 1,200 frames per second. Some crazy stuff. And 4K and all this. This was February, bear in mind, of 2016, a year to date. Well, now, as of 4 or 5 days ago, nixed. It's gone. Before they created a single camera, the line is nixed. What's going on, guys? What is going on? So about 4 or 5 months ago, Nikon created a line of, let's call them GoPro ripoffs. And the way I look at that, it was almost a way for them to say, well, this segment is doing really well, and how can we capitalize on it? Well, let's make our own. Well, I think that fell on deaf ears. Too little, too late. The way I look at this is the writing's on the wall, right? And if the companies don't see the writing and then adhere to what it's saying, they go the way of the dinosaur. I'll give you an example. MySpace, gone. They were huge. Polaroid, Kodak, huge. Kodak is a perfect example of what's going on with Nikon and Canon. They saw that film was not doing well. They saw that this brand new market of digital cameras were coming out, and they were just entrenched in their film to such a degree, the upper echelons just stuck their heels in the ground and pushed back on digital as hard as they could. What happened? Well, they ended up getting buried, and that was it. And this is what I feel is what's going on with Canon and Nikon. They're not catching up. I feel like they have lost it when it comes to mirrorless 4K, 6K, 8K, which are going to be right around the corner. Just look at Panasonic. They're almost right there when it comes to 6K and 8K. They're right there. Prototyping. Now, why is this happening? I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I think that they're trying to be safe because they know that there's a lot of shrinkage going on in the market, and I understand that. But no matter what your market is, whatever you do, you have to be innovative. You cannot just continuously iterate or you're just going to go away. And that's what I feel that's going on with Nikon. So check this out, guys. The Nikon DL18-50. Look at the way this looks compared to the brand new Canon M6. Now we are 1 year later, right? It's February to February. This DL18-50 came out, or was said to come out, or was introduced in February of 2016. Check out this camera. Look at the front of it and look at the front of the Canon M6 that just came out. Now look at the back. You're seeing some similarities there, right, guys? Right? Now look at the EVF at the top. Snaps onto the hot shoe almost identically. Now check out how the articulating screen goes. I mean, they literally look like, let's say, kissing cousins, right? Maybe even brother to sister. I mean, it's really that close. It's that close. Now, this is a year later, but what is the difference? The difference is Canon at least created this camera and Nikon just didn't. So the question is, what do you guys think? I want to know in the comments below. I want you guys to tell me, what do you think about, number one, the industry as a whole? And number two, what do you think about Nikon? Do you think they're going to pull this off, this restructuring and this shrinkage, by not creating anything really great new? What do you think is going to happen? I want to hear from you guys. So anyways, I just want to end the rant. If you like my content, as always, please give me a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe so whenever I come out with new content, you'll get it immediately. And don't forget to head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all of the photography tools that I've made for photographers just like you. So that's it, guys. I'm out of here for yet another vlog. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.